Good morning and welcome to Newsfirst Prime Time Sunrise.
Hello there, very good morning and welcome to Newsfirst Prime Time Sunrise with me, Shane Silva, on the 25th of September 2014. Let's start off with a look at your headlines. President Mahinda Rajapaksa addresses the 69th session of the UN General Assembly. Train services along the Northern Railway line restored. Hotline and fax numbers set up for persons to ascertain the status of their NIC applications. And UN Security Council adopts binding resolution compelling states to prevent their nationals joining jihadists in Iraq and Syria. On to your stories in detail now. President Mahinda Rajapaksa has addressed the 69th session of the UN General Assembly in New York.
Addressing the Assembly, President Rajapaksa said that certain factions have come forward to levy challenges against Sri Lanka under the guise of human rights. The 69th session of the United Nations General Assembly commenced at the UN headquarters in New York yesterday. The United Nations General Assembly commenced with the participation of 193 UN member nations. The President also addressed the World Climate Summit 2014 on the 23rd of this month on the sidelines of the UNGA. The President also met with several state leaders following the event.
Train operations along the Northern Railway line, which were halted owing to a train derailment in close proximity to the Mahawar train station, have been restored. According to the Railway Control Room, railway services along the line were restored by 10:45 last night. Railway services along the Northern line were disrupted owing to a train derailment at around 3:15 last afternoon. The Railway Control Room noted that approximately 100 meters of the railway line was damaged by the incident. A JVP Veligama Pradeshya Sabha member has been arrested on charges of assaulting a monk representing the UPFA within the council chambers. Police media spokesperson SSP Ajit Rohana, speaking to Newsfirst, said that the arrest was made after a complaint was lodged by the monk.
A complaint has been received to Veligama police on an assault of a Buddhist monk who is a member of Veligama Pradeshya Sabha representing UPFA. The Buddhist monk has made the complaint that yesterday he was assaulted with a water bottle inside the lobby of the Pradeshya Sabha when the monthly meeting was conducted by a member of the same Pradeshya Sabha representing JVP. The police initiated investigation and arrested the JVP Pradesh Sabha member, and he will be produced before the Matara magistrate today. Further investigations are being conducted by Veligama police.
In other local news, the National Transport Commission states that steps have been taken to issue 28 transport permits for the Kottawa-Mathura Southern Expressway. Chairman of the Commission, Renuka Pereira, noted that permits will be issued following interviews to be held on the 29th of this month.
Further to a cabinet circular, applications were accepted to issue transport permits along the Kottawa-Mathura Southern Expressway. We will be holding interviews at the National Transport Commission premises on the 29th of this month. We thereafter hope to issue these permits by the 6th of next month. Based on the circular issued by the cabinet, we will be issuing 28 road permits.
As mentioned in your headlines this morning, a hotline and 2 fax numbers have been introduced for individuals who are yet to be issued with national identity cards to find out the status of their applications.
Accordingly, information can be obtained via telephone numbers 0112 555 616 and fax numbers 0112 506 458 and 0112-593634. The Commissioner of the Department of Registrations of Persons, RMS Radhat Kumara, said that the step to introduce a new hotline and fax numbers was taken after complaints were lodged citing delays in the issuance of national identity cards. He also noted that persons could also find out the status of their applications through this hotline.
Three persons who attempted to smuggle 2 kilograms of gold into the country have been arrested at the Bandaranaike International Airport. According to the customs media spokesperson Leslie Garmini, the consignment of gold is worth 10 million rupees. The gold biscuits had been brought into the country by 2 Sri Lankan nationals arriving from Dubai. The individuals had then handed over the gold to an airport employee who had then hidden the gold on his person. A Sri Lankan national has reportedly been gang-raped while visiting Dubai on a tourist visa. General Manager of the Foreign Employment Bureau, Mangala Rambenia, said that the girl was 18 years old and hailed from the Kurunegala area. He said that investigations are underway to locate the individual who had made arrangements for the victim to travel to Dubai.
The Sri Lanka Bureau of Foreign Employment always giving a very important advice, which is for job seekers, especially the foreign job seekers, not to leave the country with visit visa and also without job agreement and without. So this is the recent incidents that we discovered, and also the girl herself reported to the Dubai embassy saying that she was raped by several people. So she was questioned and she was brought back to Sri Lanka, and now this investigation is started to discover or to identify culprits and who are involved in sending people on visit visa.
Australian Immigration Minister Scott Morrison is set to sign a deal to resettle refugees in Cambodia tomorrow.
The Cambodian government revealed yesterday that the country's Deputy Prime Minister and Interior Minister of Cambodia, Sa Keng and Morrison, will sign a memorandum of understanding in Phnom Penh tomorrow. It is understood that the resettlement deal will be for up to 1,000 asylum seekers who are found to be refugees. Cambodian officials say that the refugees, which include Sri Lankans, will be encouraged to work despite the country being among the world's poorest.
In our international news this morning, the UN Security Council has adopted a binding resolution compelling states to prevent their nationals joining jihadists in Iraq and Syria. US President Barack Obama chaired the session and said nations must prevent the recruitment and financing of foreign fighters.
It's my understanding that the Council is ready to proceed to the vote on the draft resolution before it. I shall put the draft resolution to the vote now.
At a meeting chaired by US President Barack Obama, a 15-member council unanimously adopted a US drafted resolution that compels countries to prevent and suppress the recruitment and travel of militant fighters to foreign conflicts. The US drafted resolution was adopted unanimously.
The results of the voting is as follows. The draft resolution received 15 votes in favor. The draft resolution has been adopted unanimously as Resolution 2178. Dated 2014. Resolutions alone will not be enough. Promises on paper cannot keep us safe. Lofty rhetoric and good intentions will not stop a single terrorist attack. The words spoken here today must be matched and translated into action, into deeds. Concrete action within nations and between them. Not just in the days ahead, but for years to come. For if there was ever a challenge in our interconnected world that cannot be met by one nation alone, it is this. Terrorists crossing borders and threatening to unleash unspeakable violence.
The The UN Security Council demanded earlier in the day that all states make it a serious criminal offence for their citizens to travel abroad to fight with militant groups or to recruit and fund others to do so, in a move sparked by the rise of Islamic State. French President François Hollande expressed his support for a newly adopted Security Council resolution on foreign fighters, which he says shows unity in the fight against terrorism. The resolution came just hours after news emerged that a kidnapped French tourist had been beheaded in Algeria. In a video released by his captors, Goudel, a 55-year-old niece, is seen kneeling with his arms tied behind his back in front of 4 masked militants who read out a statement in Arabic criticizing France's intervention.
Well, that's a look at this edition of Newsfirst Primetime Sunrise. It was a pleasure having you with us and hope you have a great day ahead.
Hotline 0114-896-896. www.newsfirst.lk. Feedback at newsfirst.lk.